Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're going to dive into a framework that kind of flips the script on the whole idea of employee wellness. It makes the case that all those things draining your team, burnout, distraction, the struggle to keep good people can be solved. And not by adding more costs, but by building an engine for growth right inside your company. Let's break down how that actually works.
All right, so here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with the big problem that so many businesses are wrestling with right now. Then, we'll see how this new model is a totally different way of thinking. We're going to look at what this high-performance engine actually is, how it connects your people directly to your profits, and then the simple three-step plan to get it up and running. Oh, and definitely stick around for the end, because there's a surprising financial twist that makes this whole thing really compelling.
Okay, so before we can even talk about a solution, we've got to get real about the problem. What are the headwinds that modern businesses are truly facing? Believe me, it goes way deeper than just a tough market.
Yeah, this question, it really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? We're not just talking about employees feeling a little tired at the end of the day. This is about a constant, low-level hum of stress and distraction that's just siphoning away the very focus and energy your team needs to get things done. It's this quiet, invisible drag on performance that's incredibly damaging.
And that drain shows up in some very real, very connected ways. It's almost like a domino effect. You struggle to keep good people, and it's even harder to attract new talent. Why? Well, often it's because the folks who are still there are just checked out, disengaged. And that disengagement makes it almost impossible to roll out big, important changes like AI because your people just don't have the bandwidth to adapt. And here's a really sharp insight. The frontline teams, the very people driving the core of your business, are the ones most often ignored by any kind of support program.
So, we've painted a picture of the problem. But the typical solutions, the wellness apps, the occasional yoga class, they often feel like a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. They just miss the point. What's so interesting about this model is how it offers a completely different way forward. It's a fundamental shift in thinking.
And wow, this slide just lays that shift out perfectly. On the left, you've got your standard wellness program. It's treated like a perk, right? A cost center with a really fuzzy return on investment that, let's be honest, rarely reaches everyone. But then, on the right, you have this high-performance engine. This isn't about perks. It's about building real skills like resilience and mental clarity. It's designed from the ground up to be part of your strategy, to help with things like AI adoption. It turns a nice-to-have into a measurable, hard-nosed driver of the business.
Okay, so we get that it's different, but what is this high-performance engine, really? Let's get into the nuts and bolts of what it is and what it's actually built to accomplish.
Here it is, the core definition, and the two words you really need to focus on are integrated system. Think of it this way. This isn't some separate initiative or a one-off workshop. It's about weaving the tools for well-being, things like focus and resilience, directly into how people work and what the organization is trying to achieve. The health of the employee literally fuels the health of the business. They're not two separate things, they're one and the same.
And that, of course, brings us to the bottom line. The big question, right? How does investing in people, in their focus and their resilience, actually show up on the profit and loss statement? How does it translate to real, measurable success?
The central premise is this simple but incredibly powerful. It argues that your employees aren't just a line item or a resource. They are the soil from which all of your business growth springs. Their ability to focus, their engagement, those aren't soft metrics. They are the most direct drivers of your bottom line, period.
And here's what that actually looks like in the real world. You see better retention because people feel genuinely supported and valued. That leads to higher engagement, which means real gains in performance. And this next one is so crucial today. A resilient workforce is an adaptable workforce. That means you can adopt new tech faster. I mean, think about it. How can you possibly expect a burnt-out, stressed-out team to get excited about massive changes like AI? This model says you can't. You have to build their capacity first.
Okay, the theory sounds great. It's compelling. But how do you actually build this engine? It's not just wishful thinking. The framework lays out a really practical, three-step blueprint to make it happen. And what's great about this is that it's designed to be intentional, not just a generic, off-the-shelf program. It all starts with discovery, because you can't solve a problem if you don't truly understand your starting point. Then you move to custom design. This is about tailoring the solution to your specific goals. And finally, and maybe most importantly, you implement and measure. You roll it out and you track its impact against those cold, hard business metrics, proving its value right from the start.
And now for the last piece of the puzzle. And honestly, it might be the most compelling part of this whole model, the cost.
This is where things get really, really interesting, especially if you're a business leader.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That is a seriously powerful claim. The idea here is that this entire engine can be built to be budget neutral. How? Well, by strategically redirecting money from existing incentives that aren't really delivering clear results. It's about reallocating your resources to a system that actually proves its value, which removes one of the biggest hurdles to ever getting started.
And so that brings us to this final, really critical question. The entire model we've just walked through really hinges on this one shift in perspective. Are you treating your people's well-being as a cost center, just another expense on a spreadsheet to be minimized? Or is it a performance driver, the very engine that fuels your retention, your innovation, and your growth? The framework we've explored today makes a pretty strong case that the answer to that question could unlock the true potential of your entire team.